Hello YouTubers, Troz here. I'm back playing some more Kerbal Space Program. Last time we came back from the moon and barely made it on fumes. We basically used all our fuel leaving the moon and we barely got back into orbit around Kerbin, and we had to use our RCS fuel to then actually lower our orbit down to Kerbin, and we actually had just a few units of RCS fuel left when we actually landed, but we made it back and we earned a whole bunch of science. You can see we now have over 660 science, 665 to be exact. We got a good reputation. I'm not sure exactly what that is. It's almost is this 100 here? Anyway, we're doing good on decent on reputation, and we have over 500,000 funds here. Unfortunately, we still need a lot more funds. We need a little over 500,000 funds to upgrade our R&D. Currently, we're limited to purchasing science things up to 100 science, and I believe we only have 1 or 2 of those left. So that won't use up all our science that we currently have. We won't be able to go much or any further in the science, research and development, without upgrading here. But if we do upgrade right now, we're not really going to have enough money if a launch goes wrong. So I want to get some more funds before upgrading the R&D. Unfortunately, that means we have to figure out something to do to earn more funds. So let's look at our... Hey, Gene, let's look at Mission Control, see what they have. Perform visual surveys of the moon. We could maybe do that. We could definitely do that. But we barely made it to the moon and back last time. This is all in flight, no landing, so that would be more possible. But it would still be a bit on the difficult side. Maybe something we want to take, though, to do in the future. This is similar, except this one does require landing. This I may want to let expire because I don't want to risk another landing, especially if we have to do some orbital maneuvers to get over the correct places. At least not until where we can launch bigger ships with more fuel. Plant a flag on the moon. Well, we did that. This is basically a 10-year expire time. Space around the moon. That's... had we just known, would have given us a decent boost. Test a parachute over Kerbin. This is definitely doable. It's not that big of a reward, though. It gives decent science, but we have more science than we can use right now. This funding is the problem. Temperature scans. On the surface. Flight. It's 2 different landings. Again, yeah. Not something I think we can accomplish. Position a satellite in a geosynchronous orbit. Unmanned probe has power and antenna. Reach designated orbit. Maintain stability for 10 seconds. This is something I think we can accomplish. This is basically a similar orbit, except this one is circular, where the previous one, this one is more of an ellipse. But the circular orbit one pays a lot better. I'm gonna take this one. Test the poodle engine while orbiting. That it's not fantastic pay, but it seems like something we could do on the way to getting a satellite. Not go into doing a, not yet, at least. What do we have active? Test the parachute in flight. We still have the satellite on the moon, but we have 10 years to get that done. LV-1 on escape trajectory. And we have visual survey. Okay. Let's see. Parachute. We still have a while for that one. I was hoping there'd be something for Minmus, because I think we can get to Minmus and back easier than we can get to the moon and back. Unfortunately, that's not currently something we have. So I'm thinking, well, there's two things I was thinking. We could build out the runway and the spaceplane hangar and get these done with a bigger aircraft, because these are further away than the previous ones that we did, the visual surveys. However, that's gonna take up a lot of money to upgrade the spaceplane hangar and the runway, and much rather save the money and just have to do one mission and then be able to upgrade the R&D center. So if we are going to do just one mission before upgrading the R&D center, well, this would be really this would make upgrading the R&D center possible. But we can do some other things since we're already going to be, let's say, decently far out. If we have a poodle engine, that's just bonus. So we launch, get into orbit, and then have a poodle engine that brings us out to geosynchronous orbit. That will basically, take care of. Basically, I'm trying to say, if we are able to do this one, this will take care of just the launch cost of the ship easily. I hope. And so that the geosynchronous just all goes to profit. So I'm going to take this. This was the, I would say, harder, because circular is easy to aim for, I think. Now, we can also add a small, or I would say a pair of small little probes that we can then get on escape trajectory after we disconnect the main satellite, and they would have LV-1 engines, so we can do that as well. It's not a big completion bonus, but we can get it done, and it'll get us more science. And we're probably not bringing anything back, so you won't have parachute. And yeah, we're not going to have this much control. If it was this expires in 2 hours. We can take one more thing, and this is, I'm not gonna take anything else because it depends on what we're gonna like. This is a very nice completion bonus, but right now, flying past the moon. We could do a probe past the moon in the future, but it's not really something I want taking up a space. Like this parachute one, really, it's not that useful for us. But if I don't do it, we're going to lose some money. Alright, so I'm thinking I'm going to go for this liquid engine on escape trajectory, the keostationary orbit, and the poodle engine. I'll complete 3, and where did all that... Oh! Just by taking these. Yeah. That's the plan. We're going to take heavy rocketry right now. And while we're at advanced construction as well. And that lowers our science, but we can't do anything else till we upgrade the R&D center. I could do that right now, but I'm not sure how much the rocket I'm going to build is going to cost, and I don't want to risk running out of funds. Alright, so we're going to put a satellite into geosynchronous orbit. So let's build a satellite. We start off with a probe core. Do we need that much? We don't need that much fuel. We're gonna put some RCS. How much? You're 800. You're 400. We don't need that much RCS. Can you go on top? That looks centered to me. I really hope it is. And we're gonna put... Oh, that is a really tiny engine. How much, So we're gonna put 4 of these on for steering. Alright, this is the engine we need to test outside of Kerbin's influence. Let's back out 1 and we'll do 3 solar panels. That should basically cover us. And put an antenna on. And we're not doing that one. We're not doing that one. We're not doing that one. Power and antenna. So solar panels will give us power. We'll throw a battery. You detonating or? Let's do, how much is this? 80. Yeah, we can just do 2 of them, so it'll be, I'm not sure if these have physics or not, but that will balance it out. If it does, the antenna, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. But that'll have power, solar panel power, and antenna. A little bit of RCS to adjust, and this just to get us out there if we need any help or anything like that. So, we need a decoupler. It doesn't look right, but I'm pretty sure that will work. keep line of sight with... Not sure what that means. So we need a stage for orbit. And this will be the stage with the poodle engine. And, you know, I'm going to change this up. We're just going to put one battery up in the center. And I am going to go for the larger RCS tank, because we'll be using that for guidance for this whole stage to get us out. It's going to be off-center, or center of gravity at least, but it will allow us to hold our direction better, because this isn't going to have any torque. In fact, we're going to add... Oh, that is a... Advanced. That is a small one. So this will add torque. On top of that, we're going to need our own probe core. And we're going to need our own solar panels. I'm going to put 4 on this one. And yeah, that. Okay, now I want to put 2 smaller probes, and they will use these decouplers. So, turn off center of mass. They need to use these engines. Stick this down here for now. So I want to stick these around evenly. We'll do 3 again. That should be good. We'll stick this kind of... Why are you... There we go. Looked like it was inside for a second there. Gotta move those into a different stage. Move these into a different stage up there. Okay, so this is what we'll be getting into orbit, at least low Kerbin orbit, about 90 kilometers up. We gotta get that up there, though. How are we doing? We got 37 parts and 16 tons. Now, though, things are going to get heavy. So one of the things I did unlock is the skipper engine. We tested one of those earlier. And, problem is, I'm just guesstimating here. I don't know how much thrust we're gonna need. I'm hoping that with 3 of these and some fuel lines and asparagus staging, that we will have the necessary thrust. What's besides the fuel line? We need a little strut there to hopefully keep everything straight. And we'll do pair of solid fuel boosters as well, which may wind up lasting longer than the liquid engines. Alright, you're not supposed to be up there. Let's call that our rocket. Just about. We need a few things like these stabilizers, launch stability enhancers. And we're overweight. Oh. What if we... How heavy are you guys? You're 6. You're gonna set us overweight. You're gonna set us overweight anyway. Um... Yeah. Hard decisions. Wow, even you said us overweight. I was hoping that would, Alright, one thing... One thing that would save us weight significantly is having smaller probes on that last stage. This is the smallest amount of fuel we can take currently. And then we need solar panels on it. We're going to do those in three-way symmetry. Add the engine we need. Oh, and I have the wrong... Why aren't you attaching? There we go. Anyway, get that off, and we'll put this engine back on. And almost. What can we do without? You're 1.15, and you are... So for the same cost, we can have half as much propellant, but we are now at the correct weight. Not exactly how I want it to go, but it looks like this is going to be our ship. This is Mission 15. I think that's how I named them, right? Yeah. There we go. Just gonna move these down here. There we go. Okay, center engine, booster liquid engines, and the solids should all be at the same point. In this case, we know the solids are going to run out first. We have these liquids. And that will go on there as well. So hopefully we'll get into orbit. We need to get above. We need to get into orbit for this poodle engine. You're here. You're up here for the poodle engine for that test. And we'll use the poodle engine to get this guy into nearly geosynchronous orbit. We'll drop him off, get him into geosynchronous orbit on his little fuel supply. Then we'll fire this up, hopefully escape. Once we're escaped, we can eject these two guys and run that test. That's the plan. Let's try it out. Alrighty. We have SAS because we do have a SAS thing. Throttle up to full. Let's get that up. And we're going to launch in 3, 2, 1. Lift off. Very nice. Solids are going to run out relatively quickly, but they are there to help us get up to speed. Solids are done, they're away. Basically holding speed and now continuing up. Really need these liquid engines to get us going. The outer stages are halfway done. When they're done, we should have a full fuel for the middle stage. Looks like the outer stages will last us over 10, which is what we want. We're going a little fast here. We don't want to really be going over 200 before we get out of the lower atmosphere. And out of the lower atmosphere so we can begin our gravity turn. And throttle up fully now. Be staging momentarily. Actually doing pretty nicely on the speed. Hopefully this goes smoothly here. Well, it could have gone better, but it wasn't disastrous. How's our apps? Looking good. We need to get this up to about 80. We're not picking up speed as fast as we were. We're down to 1/3 of our previous thrust, but we're picking up speed again now. That is looking good. Up high enough that we're actually catching some of the sunlight now. And yeah, look at that. We're almost up there. I'm going to get this up to 80. That one. Doing that one. We need to get up to 89 eventually, but that should be... well, we kind of overdid it. We'll need to do a big burn here. But I think we're gonna have it. 17. That will be fine. Yeah, it's about 1,000-minute long burn. Hopefully we'll have the fuel. I think we will. And maybe a minute long burn. I'm gonna start with 45 seconds so we don't really fall back much. And then this is the orbit we want to meet. We're a little off right now, but let's throttle up there. We just have to make sure this is going down faster than our fuel gauge. And it appears that it is. Let's flip over to the map. Pull this up so we can control it. Alright, getting ready to cut. And that looks good to me. And yeah, we have fuel left over. So I could do the poodle test right now. But since we have fuel left in this stage, I'd like to get as closely lined up as possible. Can I not target this? And apparently we have to have... when we're in geosynchronous orbit, we need this point visible. Not really sure how to achieve that. We're right now off by half a degree. Let's move this around here. Yeah, I don't see a way of targeting this. So it's actually easier to adjust that once we're out there, so I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to have fuel left. let's plan a maneuver to get out there. I'm hoping we're going to be traveling faster than the rotation of Kerbin until we get out here. So I'm hoping by starting behind, we'll wind up maybe slightly in front. But since this point right now is visible, I'm hoping it will remain visible. And we need... I think that's the right distance, or close enough at least. So we have a 29-second burn with our current engine. The problem is we're not doing the burn with our current engine because we would be higher than 96, I think, by the time the burn finished, and we need to higher than 96 almost right now. Let's okay. We'll be coming down. In fact, we're almost at our apoapsis right now. What I think I'm going to attempt to do is use this engine to the beginning of our burn. We have fuel. But when I get to 95, I am going to cut it and then stage. And then return it on. So we're using the poodle. And hopefully they'll use some of this fuel and it will get our test in at the same time. So let us fast forward here. Let's power's dropped a little bit, but that's to be expected. We're on the back of Kerbin, shadowed from the sun. So I'm going to stop about a minute beforehand, and we need to get all rotated around. We're actually going to come out on the sunny side. Looks like we're actually not going to be that far down, but we'll see. Alright. I believe this engine has a little over 600 thrust. The engine we'll be switching to only has 200 thrust, so it'll probably take us quite a bit longer. Let's turn on RCS to help us here. You don't need this burn to be exact, though. Turn on RCS again. It lined up pretty... RCS. SAS! We're lined up pretty good. And, yeah, we'll get a good 5,000 meters of up. Whatever that means exactly. And let's start burning at 20. Now. And yeah, actually we're not even going up yet, so that's good. Now we're going back up. I'm gonna stop there and stage, and that got us our one contract done. Okay, let's call that good. And it does look pretty good. That's going to be in an hour. In an hour, this is going to be rotated around about a sixth, so that actually looks like we'll be lining up pretty good. That will be pretty close. And be 475. It's another similar length of burn, and we definitely have the fuel for that. Let's turn off RCS. We should be able to. So we have the extra torque. From the SAS module. We should be able to get that around like that. So there we go. And we have about an hour and 20 minutes before the burn. So let's fast forward here. We're gonna be almost right over that location. At least it looks like. See our orbits slowing down as we're getting further away. Well, we're not going to be directly over it, but we'll be pretty close. Alright, we're 15 minutes from our burn. Alright, we're just about a minute from the burn. It's a 26-second burn. I'm going to start about 15 seconds before. location probably just had the location we have to see over this Erz's corner, and it probably just had the sunset. Alright, we're looking pretty lined up well, I think. It's a little hard to tell. Alright, I'm gonna start burning full thrust at about 15 seconds before, and at the end I'm gonna obviously reduce thrust so I can get pretty accurate here. 3, 2, 1, thrust. Switch back to the map view so we can watch this go out. Looking pretty accurate, I think. Oh, over thrusted slightly. Let's close the maneuver. And it counted. So let's decouple and there we are. We're this little satellite here, and let's rotate around so we have some solar panels facing the sun. So we're going to leave this satellite here in orbit. Let's rename the vessel. Of course, apparently I have my shift lock on. Actually, it would be Satellite. We'll leave it as a probe. And let's flip back here. Let's just make sure we it says not enough electric charge. Yeah, we're pretty low on electricity now. We need to exit Kerbin. And I want to send these probes closer to the sun for no particular reason other than we can. So if we want to do that, we need to add a maneuver here so they exit in a backwards direction. And look, that's even pretty sure that's less thrust than we currently or previously just did. So let's line up for that. Of course, that's in 3 hours now. So let's see here. We got the Rockomax Poodle liquid engine test. We got the satellite in orbit. And we're not doing these. We now just need the LV-1 liquid fuel engine on an escape trajectory out of Kerbin. So let's fast forward about 3 hours. Satellite is getting far ahead of us. We're going around Kerbin here. Got the moon, and I think that's Minmus right there above my mouse cursor. Okay, here we are. We're on the other side of Kerbin now. About 10 minutes away from our burn. See this probe's on a slightly offset orbit. What happens if we move this here? Where that's basically 11 billion, and moving it that way. It's actually raising it up, so we were trying to get that low, which is what I like to do. Let's start burning now. So basically we just want to get on an escape trajectory, and pretty sure we're going to easily have that. I'd like to use as much fuel as we have, because why not? If we're going to send these guys somewhere, let's send them somewhere. We're inside Eve's orbit. We're doing at about a third of our fuel still remaining. Approaching Moho's orbit. Still got a bit of fuel left. He's getting, there we go. Out of fuel. Throttle back. So we're all ready to test the LV-1. We are in Kerbin on escape trajectory. We're going to leave, but we need to test before we leave. So let us do that now. I'm gonna decouple one. I'll leave the other with this, and we'll see what happens with that. And let's go over to this little guy. Control from here. What do we have to do? Just run test. Okay. Apparently because we have the decoupler attached, it's really offsetting our weight, which I was not expecting. And we can't engage SAS. So, he's pretty much forever on this path. But we have our test done. So let's return to the Space Center. And we now have over 750,000 funds. And wow, that's way beyond what I was hoping for. So we can upgrade our research and development center. And wow, look at that place grow. And we have over 350,000 funds now. And we can use the science that we have earned. Where previously we had basically ran out of science that we could use because we didn't have the facilities and research programs available to make use of the additional science we had gathered. But that's no longer a problem. What's still a problem is we have not yet upgraded our spaceplane hangar or our runway, nor have we upgraded our administration building. But other than that, we are doing well. We can probably upgrade the administration building, but I'll leave that till next time. The one thing I'd like to upgrade is the launch pad, so we won't have any weight restrictions, which is my main issue with going back to the moon. I think we fly by Minmus if there is a visual inspection contract next time. That is probably doable with our previous ship. Probably landing is also doable. It actually does take less fuel to land on Minmus because of its low gravity. Even though it's further away, how low its gravity is makes landing and lifting back off a lot more fuel efficient. So definitely I would like to do something with Minmus if possible. If not, maybe another visual inspection around Kerbin after upgrading our aircraft facilities. But we'll see next time. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys then.